Welcome to the overview video of all picks for Lemos versus Jandiroba. Before we go into the stats, I accidentally made a mistake last week with the results. I somehow had the winner incorrect of the fight between Jasmine Jassadavicius versus Fatima Klein in those results. I now have an extra double check in place to make sure stuff like that doesn't happen anymore. I've adjusted all the results correctly now and they should be okay. Here I'll show quickly the updated results from last week. Pause the video if you want to take a longer look. Alright, with those updates done, let's get into the card for UFC Vegas, Lemos versus Jandiroba. 44 out of 75 channels made predictions on this fight. It feels to me that this card is not such a popular card and less channels than normal are making picks for this card. I expect more channels to make picks, and when they do, their picks will be added in the results video this Sunday. The 44 channels that made a prediction this week made a total of 504 predictions for this event. The prelims starts with a heavy fight between the 29th ranked Mohammed Usman versus Thomas Petersen, who is ranked number 68. Usman is the favorite here and is getting minus 134 in average odds. He gets 34 out of 44 picks from the UFC YouTube channels and is a big favorite with 77% of the picks. But interestingly, the top pickers are 50-50 on this fight. And by top pickers, I mean the channels who had a 10% or higher return of investment in June and made at least 20 predictions for that month. The lighter green are the channels that had between 10 to 19% return of investment, and the darker green had 20% or more return of investment in June. We had 9 channels who were top pickers in June, but only 4 of them have made picks so far for this event. The next fight is a women's fight in the flyweight division between the Brazilian Luana Carolina and Lucie Pudilova from the Czech Republic. In odds, it is a pretty close fight, but in picks, Luana is the clear favorite. 31 out of 40 channels predict that she will win this fight, or 78%. The top pickers also predict her to win, and she gets 3 out of 4 picks. The third fight is between Loik Radzhabov and Trey Ogden in the lightweight division. Loik Radzhabov is a small favorite in odds with minus 115 versus minus 105 odds for Trey Ogden. But in picks, Trey Ogden is a bigger favorite. He is getting 27 out of 43 picks, or 63% of all picks from the UFC YouTube channels. And Loik is getting 16 picks for a 37% pick percentage. Interestingly, the top pickers are choosing Loik more than Trey. They pick him 3 out of 4 times. The next fight is another women's fight in the flyweight division between the number 16 ranked Miranda Maverick from the United States and the number 36th ranked Dione Barbosa from Brazil. Miranda is a pretty big favorite in odds here and gets minus 223 in average odds versus plus 181 odds for Barbosa. And the UFC prediction channels agree with the odds makers, and Miranda is a big favorite and is getting 37 out of 42 picks, or 88% of all the picks, which makes her the biggest favorite for this card this week. Barbosa only gets 12% of the picks. 5 out of 42 channels predict that she will win this fight. In the bantamweight division, we have a fight between Kelleher and Cody Gibson, both from the United States. In odds, Cody is the favorite with minus 197 versus Brian, who has plus 161 in average odds. In picks though, Cody is a pretty big favorite and is getting 37 out of 43 picks, or 86% of all picks. Brian only gets 6 out of 43 picks, or 14%. The best pickers from last month are all picking Cody to win this fight, so a big favorite overall. The sixth fight of the night and the last fight on the prelims is between JeongYeong Lee from South Korea and Hyder Amil from the United States in the featherweight division. Lee is the favorite in odds and has minus 199 in average odds, and Hyder Amil has plus 163. And the UFC predictors agree with the odds makers mostly. 31 out of 43 picks, or 72%, are for Lee, and Hyder gets 12 out of 43 picks for 28%. And Lee is getting 100% of the picks from the best pickers in June. Before we go to the main card, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content and find the information helpful and or informative. I would appreciate it a lot. Thank you for the support. The opener of the main card is a featherweight fight between the South Korean Dooho Choi and the American Bill Algeo. Bill is the favorite over Dooho Choi in odds with minus 170 average odds versus plus 142 for Choi. Bill gets 29 out of 42 picks, or 69% of all the picks, and Choi gets 13 picks, or 31%. So Bill is the favorite in this matchup. The next fight is in the flyweight division between the number 13th ranked Cody Durden from the United States and the number 16th ranked Bruno Silva from Brazil. In odds, this is a pretty close match. Cody is a small favorite with minus 120 odds and Bruno has minus 101 in odds. In picks, it is also reasonable close, although Cody still remains the favorite there as well. And 23 out of 40 channels, or 58%, predict that he will win this fight. And Bruno gets 17 out of 40 picks for 43%. Next up, we have a lightweight fight, which is again between an American and a Brazilian. Holobaugh from the United States and Kenan Kruchevsky from Brazil. The Brazilian is the favorite in odds with minus 135 and Kurt has plus 112 in odds. And in picks, Kenan is also the favorite. 27 out of 42 channels, or 64%, predict that Kenan will win in this fight, and only 50 channels pick Kurt to win this match. The next fight on this card is between Steve Garcia from the United States versus Sang-woo Choi from South Korea. Garcia is the favorite according to the odds makers and has minus 150 in average odds, and his opponent Choi has plus 124 in average odds. In picks though, Steve Garcia is a huge favorite versus Choi. Choi only gets 6 out of 42 picks for only 14%, but Steve gets 36 out of 42 picks, or 86% predict him to win this fight. And the best pickers in June all think that he will win as well. Then, for the co-main event, we have a fight in the middleweight division between the 35th ranked American Brett Tavares versus the 24th ranked JeongYeong Park from South Korea. JeongYeong Park is the favorite in this match in odds. He has minus 163 and Brett has plus 134 in average odds. Most of the UFC prediction channels on YouTube also predict that JeongYeong Park will win. He gets 26 out of 40 picks, or 65%. Brett Tavares gets 12 out of 40 picks, or 35%. And 100% of the 10% plus return of investment pickers think that Park will win this match. Then, for the main event, we got a strawweight fight between two Brazilians. The number 4th ranked Amanda Lemos versus the number 16th ranked 6th ranked Virna Jandiroba. In odds, this fight is pretty close, but Virna is the favorite with minus 130 in average odds. Her opponent, Amanda Lemos, has plus 109 in average odds. In picks from the UFC Predictions Channels, it is also close. 20 out of 43 channels, or 47%, predict that Amanda wins this match, and 23 out of 43, or 53%, predict that Virna wins, so a small favorite here. Interestingly, the channels that had a plus 10% return of investment last month are predicting 3 out of 4 times that Amanda wins this match. Overall, a close match, like many others on this card. Feels like a coin flip card in odds and in picks. Hope you all enjoy the fights this weekend. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the results video this Sunday.